We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. I didn't have anybody lined up to say the prayer. And I don't know that I want to stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance because I'm locked out of my house and wearing pair of shorts with a jacket on. So, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? So, with that, I'll call the meeting to order. And Mr. Johnson, you want to go ahead and lead off and just kind of give us a rundown of while we're here, what we're looking at, what it's going to take to repair Section Street. And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure we'll have a couple of questions, and then we can get on with the business.
And not to dwell too much into it, as you know, we had a pretty active series of rain events over the last 72 hours of the weekend, and especially on late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Depending on which rain gauge you look at, there was about a 5-inch, 4 to 5 inch rainfall in a relatively short period of time that caused Section Street at Big Mouth Gully, which is there near the intersection of Bayou, just south of that, to become overwhelmed. And turns out that there's double HDPE, which is a plastic pipe at pretty good depth, about 20 feet, that were suffering joint failures well before this event, but this event put it over the top, and we just had a complete catastrophic failure to the point that the pipes have collapsed at the upstream side of that crossing. And so, a fix is required. The biggest challenge is Section Street is our major entrance into town. And even though Bayou is a reasonable short-term detour bypass, it is not a long-term solution. So we did reach out to y'all about consideration of declaring an emergency and expedite the repair of this. With discussions with Council President and the Mayor early yesterday morning. We got consulting engineer Sawgrass in here to start the process. They got survey done, preliminary design done, put together a bid package. We reached out to 4 contractors that we've had experience with, asking them to bid on it. We got 3 bids in, as well as 1 no bid. And we are recommending that if the importance in time is this is 15 days to calendar days to get this repaired and Section Street back open and in complete condition. So we are recommending that. The low bid did come in with McElhaney Construction Company, and I do want to let me get my right. Is we did do an additive alternate to line the remaining pipe that crosses under, and we do recommend to do that. And with the base bid and which is all the new work, as well as cured in place lining of the existing inaccessible HDP double barrels, which run out to the sewer plant to that part of Big Mouth Gully, a total of $683,521.36. Sawgrass's proposal for the front end, the survey, the engineering design, and the back end, the construction management, as well as the required geotech, is a not to exceed of $71,000. And that is our recommendation, and that will be put back together in 15 calendar days.
You have questions for Mr. Johnson, Council? I want to make a few comments. I want to, first of all, thank Richard and Public Works and anybody else that was, and the mayor was involved in this early yesterday morning. It's my understanding this occurred somewhere around midnight, night before last. So thank you all for getting on this. Thank you for reaching out to me first thing yesterday morning and figuring out how we would go about getting this. And I also want to thank everybody that put bids together as quickly. There can only be one winner, but we really want to thank everyone that bid on this. And so it's unfortunate. I know that it's the council's fault that this happened, but because I've been reading that on social media, so I just want to tell y'all it's okay. I forgive y'all. But I see James out there shaking his head, yes. But anyway, thank you for all that you've done to try to get the city back in order. And I know that I did want to ask a couple of questions. You mentioned it was an HDPE pipe failure. We are going back with it. Is it cast, cured in place?
Well, the new pipe work will all be reinforced concrete, and then it will connect through a junction box to the good pipe that's still remaining. it will probably need to take you down for a tour because it's pretty interesting what was done over the history of time there. But there is an existing concrete box culvert that runs under just the 2 lanes of Section Street, or probably at that time it was 3 lanes if I remember right, and they added the median back in. And somewhere along the way, they actually ran the HDPE pipes through the box culvert and gratted them in. So there was just no option cost-wise to tear out all that and redo it. But we were able to go inside the pipes from the downstream side and measure to where good pipe goes back to. So we're going to reattach that. But to make sure that we're not revisiting this anytime too soon, is they will go in and do a cured in place fiberglass lining of that plastic pipe that'll give us that 50-year, 75-year performance, just like a concrete, and then everything that's being replaced will be concrete. And we, hopefully the council that's sitting here in 100 years will be dealing with this problem then, but we won't in between those 2 times.
Okay. One more question on this. We've dealt with a lot of erosion here, a lot of drainage. And I don't know if you can design, a culvert that would start emptying before it gets to the top of the box. You kind of have a jailbreak once you fill up that hole down there, then the water starts pouring in. But there are some designs that let water kind of start flowing through earlier. So it takes a lot more rain to reach that jailbreak.
That is correct. And one of the things that Sawgrass is doing in this process is a hydraulic study, just to see if we got and as you know, in this general location, I think in 2014 there was some damage, and not in this exact location, just immediately upstream. So I think we've got maybe some systemic problems we need to look at. And I know we've talked about that there's already prices in here for modification of that outlet control structure, maybe to get water out of there earlier than letting it impound and causing that hydraulic stress. Because here's the reality. When that system was put in the 90s, what did the upstream development look like then compared to today? There's been a lot of rebuilding of homes that were larger, more driveways, things like that. So we did get all that. We got the geographical data to Sawgrass today. They're going to do a little hydraulic analysis and see what modifications may be prudent to hopefully not allow the buildup of water upstream to put too much pressure on that system.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah. Any other questions?
I mean, you sort of touching on it. I think one question I had for you, Richard, was do we have any known issues right in the same vicinity? I mean, I know we had that failure on Bancroft a couple years ago, and I mean, I don't know if we've got any that we have already circled and say, hey, we think this one's going next, or you just better to address it as they come? I mean,
probably one of the most exciting things is you will hopefully see it at the next council meeting, and that's the awarding the contract for the Restore Act for the stormwater inventory. So we're going to be able to find out just how much and what types of material we got out there that will give us some idea where potential problem areas are. One of the things that the mayor authorized is we've already reached out to NRCS asking for a localized declared event due to the amount of rainfall that occurred that may make emergency watershed protection monies available. And we've got a few little hot spots. There's one at Grand and Bayou. There's an outfall behind the K1 Center. Several of those that we've actually got in our budget this year to start addressing, but if we can get some 25% money to help offset that, we'll make our money go further. So yeah, there's some known, and some of it we kind of watch and keep, I hate to say it, we do triage. Which one is bleeding the worst, and work on that one first. And we've had one at Cedar that's been a problem for a while. We just got it completed. So yes, there are, but it's really, it is what is exposed. And then this one kind of caught us by surprise. It was actively failing, but it was 20 feet under the ground. And when it failed spectacularly. So.
Council, if you'll bear with me, since this is an emergency meeting, I will read this entire resolution. It won't take me too long. I do so also want to state that the engineer and the contractor that's being proposed were typed into this maybe 15 minutes ago. So this is right off the press. This wasn't done earlier today. I mean, it was, I would say, what do you say, 15 minutes ago, Lisa, at the most?
That's it.
Okay. All right, this is a resolution declaring an emergency, whereas the city of Fairhope has sustained damage from the rain events that occurred on December 27, 28, and 29 of 2024. and Section Street at Big Mouth Gully, that's Bayou Street, now has significant embankment loss and major drainage failure with part of the sidewalk, flume, and curbing gone, and the roadway undermined. And whereas the City Council, due to the emergency circumstances requiring immediate action to avoid further damage to our infrastructure, is desirous on declaring the December 29, 2024 Section Street embankment and drainage failure an emergency, a public works project pursuant to Code of Alabama 1975, Section 39-2-2E, so that immediate repairs may be contracted to avoid additional damages to the infrastructure. And whereas there is a need for the city to enter into various public works contracts to effect the repair of this critical public infrastructure in order to provide adequate health, safety, and convenience of the public without delay, and authorizes the mayor to execute the necessary contracts for immediate repairs with vendors and engineers. Now therefore it be resolved by the governing body of the city of Fairhope, Alabama, while in special called session on December 30th, 2024 as follows. The City Council of the City of Fairhope hereby officially declares the December 29th, 2024 Section Street embankment and drainage failure an emergency public works project and approves soliciting informal bids for immediate repairs to prevent further damage to our infrastructure for engineering and repairs, and authorizes the mayor to execute emergency contracts for engineering with Sawgrass Consulting with a not to exceed amount of $71,000, and for general contracting with McElhenney Construction LLC with a not to exceed $683,521.36. Approved, adopted and approved this 30th day of December 2024. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
I'll ask the clerk and the city attorneys, everything good? Everything legal? We're good?
We met this morning and went over the legal stuff on it, and everything's fine.
Okay. All right. I think, Richard, thank you for the briefing. Thanks for everybody being here once again. If there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion for all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Is there any other business, Mayor? Okay, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.